What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte. According to Eddie Hearn has finalized a date and venue for Dillian Whyte, and it will be at the O2. It will be October 30th, and the front runner for Dillian Whyte is Chris Arreola. Now, unfortunately, we wanted Dillian Whyte to come to the States. I don't know what really happened with that. I talked briefly with Coach Xavier. You know, he didn't really have a choice in the matter, so it is what it is, you know. They changed up their strategy with Dillian Whyte, you know, because a lot of fighters like Michael Hunter and, of course, Charles Martin was calling out Dillian Whyte when they heard him coming to shores of the Americas, right? So I think at the end of the day, I think that Dillian Whyte will do massive numbers at the O2 like he's always done. I think Chris Arreola is a great opponent. You know, he's a lot better than Jermaine Franklin, a person we never heard of, undefeated or not. You know, and according to Eddie Hearn, he said, hey, you know, Chris Arreola comes to fight, and he comes with action, and that's the type of fight we want for Dillian Whyte. You know, also he added with the WBC. The WBC hasn't been fair, go figure. And, you know, we're not going to wait around for Dillian Whyte, for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, because we don't know if Mauricio's still going to keep his word. So I think the next option for Dillian Whyte with the WBC is to really sue. You know, that's my counterpunch on that. But I look at Chris Arreola and Dillian Whyte myself is a good fight. It sets up a fight with Andy Ruiz. Okay, now, despite what Andy Ruiz is just going through or just went through surgery, obviously it wasn't that bad because he's already back training. He's back using his legs and everything. So, you know, he should be ready for a fight of a magnitude of Dillian Whyte. And, you know, and stop all the trash talk. I think really trash talking is good, but if you're not really going to ever fight, it's meaningless. You know, it's some Rolly Romero type shit. You know, it's some, you know, it's that type of talk that gets people like, man, shut up. You know, so if he fights Chris Arreola and then he can knock out Chris Arreola, that would actually set up a great fight for Andy Ruiz, because it backs him into a wall. It makes him look like, hey, well, I did something that you couldn't do. In fact, the guy that you couldn't even stop dropped you once, dropped you to the canvas for the second time in your career, you know, and showed that you had some vulnerability, and I just took him out like it was nothing, you know. So I think a lot of those fights are targeted for that reason. So I can understand why Dillian Whyte and Eddie Hearn are getting together and want Chris Arreola. Now, the question is, will Chris Arreola take the fight? Is he one of those guys that will be advised otherwise, you know, to not take the fight? Because a lot of those fighters there at PBC, some of them, I think they have some advisory status that, no, you don't take fights from other, you know, other fighters and, you know, other networks. So if he can take it, if they offer him the right amount, if they offer him $3 million, I think he'll take $3 million. You know, but then again, who knows? Because again, Al Heyman, that's an Al Heyman fighter, and Al Heyman might advise him otherwise. So, but you know, the front runner is that. What I didn't like about this article, though, I'm going to tell you that I wish it would have been another, you know, hey, it's either Chris Arreola or someone else. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people talk about Dillian Whyte, say Dillian Whyte ducked a lot of fights, say this, say that about Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte has a great resume, very good resume, okay? But it's some fights that even I want him to fight. I would love to see him fight, you know, and I think at the end of the day, he should fight. You know, like guys like Luis Ortiz, he should be the guy that could step in. So they should contact him as well, not somebody like Jermaine Franklin. Dillian Whyte, on the scale that he's on, should never bow down or consider or resort to fighting anyone like Jermaine Franklin. Not ever. Unless he gets knocked out again and then fight someone like that. But if Dillian Whyte gets knocked out, he wants a rematch, just like he did with Povetkin. Okay, that's the type of status he has. You know, Dillian Whyte has the reputation and the clout to demand a rematch in the rematch clause, get the rematch, you know, and make a lot of money for himself and demand fights that he wants to fight. And I think Luis Ortiz should at least be that secondary, you know, so that was the only thing I didn't like, because they had no backup for the fighter that they could possibly have if Chris Arreola decides to, like, say, no, thank you. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Dillian Whyte's next opponent, of Chris Arreola. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunching. Peace.